ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਦੀ ਸਿਹਤ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਡੀਨਾ ਹਿੰਸ਼ਾ ਤੇ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਦੇ ਸਿਹਤ ਮੁੱਖ ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਅਫਸਰ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ ਕਾਨਫਰੰਸ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਮਹਾਮਾਰੀ ਲਈ ਆਪਣੇ ਸੂਬੇ ਦੇ ਜਵਾਬ ਬਾਰੇ ਇੱਕ ਅਪਡੇਟ ਪ੍ਰਦਾਨ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ। ਮੰਤਰੀ ਨੇ ਘੋਸ਼ਣਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਕਿ ਹਸਪਤਾਲਾਂ 'ਚ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਦੇ ਕੇਸ ਘੱਟ ਹੋਣ ਕਾਰਨ ਸੂਬਾ ਸਰਕਾਰ 10 ਮਾਰਚ ਤੋਂ ਲਗਾਈਆਂ ਗਈਆਂ ਪਾਬੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਹਟਾਉਣ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਸੂਬੇ 'ਚ ਸਿਹਤ ਸੰਭਾਲ ਕਰਮਚਾਰੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਦੇ ਵਿਰੁੱਧ ਟੀਕਾਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਵੇਗੀ। ਮਾਸਕ ਦੀਆਂ ਪਾਬੰਦੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਹਟਾ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ ਜਾਣਗੀਆਂ।
Turning to today's update. Over the last 24 hours, we have identified 467 new cases of COVID-19 and completed about 2,200 PCR tests. Our positivity rate is 20.5%. As the Minister mentioned, there are currently a total of 1,106 people with COVID-19 in hospital, including 77 in the ICU. Sadly, 7 new deaths were reported to Alberta Health over the last 24 hours. My condolences go to the family and friends of these Albertans and to anyone who's experienced a loss from any cause. These deaths remind us of the reality I mentioned earlier, that the virus is still with us and can pose a serious threat for Albertans who aren't vaccinated or who have additional risk factors, and leaving protections in place to help protect vulnerable Albertans. This includes continued mandatory masking in all continuing care facilities, acute care settings, and on public transit. As provinces across the country and jurisdictions around the world begin working towards an endemic approach to COVID, many adjustments are needed. After 2 years of mandatory public health measures and fundamental changes to the way we have lived, worked, and socialized, this will not be easy for all of us, especially for those who may have an increased risk of serious outcomes from the virus. We need to assess the COVID risk for ourselves and our families and make the best decisions possible for our unique circumstances. It's critical that we respect the choices that people make and show patience and tolerance to those who are making different choices than we make for ourselves. Long after restrictions are lifted, vaccination against COVID-19 will continue to be an important part of Albertans' health and well-being. That's because we know that vaccine remains the single most effective way to prevent loss of life, hospitalization, and severe outcomes from COVID-19. This reality makes today's announcement about booster doses available for all youth between the ages of 12 and 17 an important one for many Alberta families. While the risk of severe outcomes for these youth is low compared to those in older age categories or for youth who have health risk factors, the Alberta Advisory Committee on Immunization has recommended offering boosters as an option for this age group to help increase their level of protection against COVID. This is in line with guidance in other jurisdictions, including BC, Ontario, Saskatchewan, and Quebec, where boosters are being offered to those between the ages of 12 and 17. I know many Alberta youth and parents have wondered when they would be eligible for additional protection against Omicron, especially as restrictions on youth activities and schooling are coming to an end.